What's going on, people? About to randomly relate, reverse rant and no hate. Alright, hey, look, I wanted to do this video outside. I have my tripod in the back, but it is too windy. Wind is blowing people all over the place, man. Alright, so look, this is a video I want to do. I want to talk about some fights. I'll think of them as I go. But I know that these are fights that I thought that one person got the decision, but I felt like the other fighter won. Okay. Number one, and mind you, I'm not biased, so even fighters who I wanted to win, I thought lost. Okay, so one, let's just say Felix Trinidad versus Oscar De La Hoya. I wanted Trinidad to win that fight, but to me, Trinidad didn't win that fight. I had Oscar De La Hoya, just like most people, winning the first 8 rounds easy. And the last 4, he decided to get on his bicycle, which was something that a lot of fighters did. I got the fight won. Okay, no need to take the risk. Let me just stay on my toes. Just, you know. Now, true, he didn't really do anything, but Trinidad didn't do anything special. Trinidad was just able to touch him a little more and was trying to make the fight. And De La Hoya just got on his bicycle. But no way do I think Trinidad won that fight. Another fight was, we'll say, Muhammad Ali, Ken Norton, 3. Of course, no matter who Ali fights, I would always go with Ali to win, but Ali didn't win that 3rd fight, man. Ken Norton was hurting Ali in that fight. He was catching him with shots. Ali was tired. Ali's conditioning wasn't what it should have been. He just, that pace was, you know, it was more of what Ali wasn't doing, and Norton just basically, he won, man. Like, you know, when the fighter you want to win, people, yeah, but deep down you have, I don't want to see you win it that way because you didn't win. I think, in my opinion, Norton won the fight with him and Ali in the 3rd fight. Who else can we go at? I had a bunch of these fights in my head, and Timothy Bradley, Manny Pacquiao. 1. I didn't think Timothy Bradley beat any fight. I mean, with Pacquiao. I mean, Pacquiao won the 2nd and 3rd fight, but the 1st fight, same thing. I really, there was people that gave Timothy Bradley 1 round. Some people edged him with 2 rounds. I didn't see him win any rounds. In all honesty, I can say he had 2 rounds that was better than the other 10, but I didn't feel like he did enough to win any rounds. I don't see it. I mean, that's a fight you don't even have to watch it again and again and watch it closely. Like Timothy Bradley lost that fight, man. He lost that fight. Now, there's 2 fights that's kind of tricky, kind of hard to score. It depends on how you're looking at it. One fight was Canelo versus Triple G, the 1st fight. Okay. Watching that fight, I felt like Canelo hand speed, you know, the flashiness. Every time he threw a punch, the crowd went crazy. He was missing a lot of those shots though, and Triple G had, like, he was landing body shots. He would get a hard shot. He was landing, but Canelo just looked like the more relaxed of the 2, and it just looked like it was an uphill battle for Triple G. It just like he was trying to do everything, and he wasn't really, there was no dominance there. Canelo looked more confident. He looked fresher. Even when he got tired, he just looked more calm and relaxed, and was, you know, like I said, he threw those shots and it was quick, and the crowd would go crazy. And a lot of time the influence of the crowd, not just the judges, but the people watching, it's like, yeah, even when he's not really landing. I felt like, you know, it's kind of just different from what the topic is, but I felt like it could have went either way, but I felt like Triple G was landing shots that people just wasn't paying attention to. And a lot of times, like, unless a body shot really folds you over or make you, you know, really show that it bothers you, people act like body shots don't matter. But that's you know, I was kind of on the fence with that one, but I'm edging Triple G. But we'll see. They gave it to Canelo. But I thought Triple G did enough to pull that off. Not in a dominating way or something that really clearly stood out, but I thought he did enough. But they gave it to Canelo. Another fight is Andre Ward and Sergey Kovalev won. It was kind of similar, only it was a knockdown in that fight. You know, Ward being knocked down. It was kind of similar to the way the fight was fought. Like Kovalev, when he threw shots, it was just, you know, he didn't, you know, it wasn't like the flash and flare that Canelo had, but it was like his shots just looked more telling when he landed them. And again, Andre Ward looked like, you know, Kovalev looked like the more relaxed of the two. Like, you know, his confidence, like it was there, like he felt like, hey, I'm winning this fight. Ward, again, in that fight, it looked like it was like an uphill battle for him. But he was doing things effectively. It was just like, it wasn't getting the reaction from the fans or even the commentators. There was times when Ward was landing shots and he was doing things, but the commentators are talking and not really acknowledging what he's doing. Very stealthy, very, you know, he was cautious, but he was doing a lot of inside work and a lot of body work, and he just basically I felt like on that one, even more so than the Triple G Canelo fight, I kind of felt like and I'm thinking now, they're probably, of course, the knockdown. Anytime you get knocked down in a fight and it's a close fight, people feel like, well, he got the knockdown. I didn't know, you never know how the judges are scoring a fight, what they're looking at, what they like. But listening to the commentators, they clearly feel like Kovalev was winning. But as the fight started to go, and I'm watching, I'm like, man, Ward is doing some work. But they're just, for some reason, they're not really talking about what Ward is doing. They just keep talking about Kovalev. I'm looking and I'm thinking, I think Ward did enough to win. And I felt like, I think Ward got it. I'm not sure, you know, but I felt like, just because, you know, the later rounds, and you're looking at, like people remember the later rounds more so than the early rounds. And I wasn't sure. At that point, I just wasn't sure. And I'm looking back and I'm like, maybe they're going to call this, I don't know. And I'm thinking, I think they're going to give it to Kovalev. I'm like, I don't know. I'm not sure. That was more, I just couldn't really, because I didn't know what they were looking at. But then myself, I'm looking like Ward didn't do anything dominating. Kovalev didn't do anything dominating. But his shots, when he landed, it showed more effect. He threw more headshots, you know, than he did body shots. Ward was on a lot of good body work. And I did feel like I favored Ward. Like, I think Ward did enough. But usually in a close fight, man, like that, you know, I was kind of surprised, actually. Like, wow, okay. So, it was nothing dominating, but I leaned towards Ward. And it's not because I wanted him to win. It was because just watching what happened, I kind of felt like he was doing some things that was going unnoticed. And because they wasn't making a big deal about what he was doing, I wasn't really sure. But I'm feeling like, and then with the knockdown, I'm like, okay. But yeah, so Ward got that one. Most people feel like Ward lost, but hey, I can understand. You know, when you hit a guy and his head snapping back, and your shots is showing more effect on him than his shots are showing on you, it was like, okay, I get it. But yeah, so that was a fight that I thought I was kind of really, I was unsure. I'm not afraid to say that. You know, I don't know the goddamn thing. We have our opinions, and like I said, one thing, I'm not biased. Now, Pernell Whitaker, Julio Cesar Chavez. by no stretch did I feel that fight was a draw. Pernell Whitaker dominated. He landed more power shots. He landed more jabs. He outfought him. He did. I remember people saying Pernell's not going to be able to play with Chavez. You know, Chavez is going to do this. Chavez is going to do that. No, Pernell won that fight. From bell to bell, man, he just was in control, and he looked so relaxed, and like he was just having fun in there. He was focused. He was dialed in. He won that fight. That fight wasn't even close. I don't see how that fight was even close to being a draw. In my opinion, Pernell was robbed. Another fight, Lennox Lewis versus Evander Holyfield won. Now, Lennox Lewis and Holyfield were two guys that I wanted to see win whoever they fought. But against each other, I was kind of, And Holyfield, man, the stance that he took in boxing coming up from, cruiserweight, just the way he was, Holyfield was just that guy, man. But I liked Lennox Lewis too, and I thought Lewis was overlooked. I thought people just discriminated against Lewis because he wasn't an American fighter, but he was over here smashing, crushing shit. Lewis was no joke. And it was like, they had to fight each other. It was like, I want to see it, but I don't, And I'm like, okay. Bottom line, Holyfield versus Lewis won. Was closer than people made it sound like, though. They made it sound like Lewis just destroyed Holyfield. They called it a draw. It was a good fight. I think Lewis won. I just think Lewis touched him more than he touched him. Lewis frustrated him a lot, had him on the outside. Holyfield was just getting hit with that jab too much. I just think Holyfield lost that fight. But they called it a draw. And of course, Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder won. I didn't see that as an action-packed fight. It was a great fight. It was an okay fight. The punches landed in each round was very low. It wasn't a big volume fight. The first knockdown, that punch was to the back of the head. But regardless, they called it a knockdown. Okay, fine. To be honest with you, the only rounds that I felt like you could give Wilder was the rounds that he knocked down. Even the first knockdown, but even the second knockdown, Tyson Fury got up and started putting it on Wilder. You know what I'm saying? When he got up, he wasn't staggering. He didn't have weak legs. He started coming at him. And I think too when he fell, they talking about how his eyes rolled back. I don't think he was as hurt as it looked, because when you get hurt, you get up and it shows. That guy Fury started coming at Wilder, and started punishing Wilder. He hurt Wilder, and was backing Wilder up, and that is what I believe sparked Fury's. That whole thing of in the rematch, I'm going to come forward. Wilder can't fight backing up. He can't fight coming forward. He has a right hand. That's it. He's nothing special about it. We already know. But definitely, that fight was not a draw. Fury was robbed. Fury won. Tony Harrison, Jermell Charlo won. Now, I'm not one of those, I speak against a guy, I don't like the guy, no. I don't know these guys personally to like them or dislike them. There's things that people can do and say that I dislike. You know what I'm saying? But I personally think Charlo won that first fight. I did not feel like Tony Harrison won that first fight. Tony Harrison didn't even think that didn't even think he won that first fight. You can see in his body language after the fight how he was, and look at his reaction when he got the decision. How he didn't think he won that fight. You know, but because he tried to shake Charlo's hand and, you know, give him credit, and Charlo wasn't having it, and, you know, that sparked the anger between the two of them, because they seemed like they were okay at that point. But I you know, we know Charlo loved to load up and try to get the knockout instead of using boxing skills and working off his jab and setting punches up. He just tried to go for the kill. And a lot of times he eats shots and you can telegraph his shots, but no, I don't think he lost that first fight at all. It is what it is. Now, I know a lot of people say they felt like Sean Porter beat Errol Spence. I didn't feel like he beat Errol Spence. I felt like the fight was a lot closer than what people thought it was going to be. But I'll tell you what I think too. I feel like Sean Porter fought the wrong fight. I don't know what's going on in boxing nowadays with these trainers and with these fighters, where they're overlooking the basic fundamentals, man. If I have a fighter, okay, or me, if I'm fighting a guy and I'm much taller than this guy, why am I fighting this guy at close quarters? For what reason are we this close? But that's the way Errol Spence likes to fight. He likes those dog fights. Nobody's saying he had to get on his toes and just stay away from Sean, no. But just to use his jab, man, to keep that range, use the long shots, give, you know, the angles. He's saying, you know, Sean Porter make you fight that way. It wasn't so much what Sean Porter made him do. I seen Sean Porter fight Kell Brook, and Kell Brook would not let Sean Porter have his way. Use that range, use that long shot. Make Sean Porter have to come in. When Sean Porter comes in, he smothers his shots. He gets way too close to his guy. It works for him in other fights, but that's the one thing, like, that's the one thing about Sean I don't like watching. Like, his fights are just not entertaining to me, man. Like, that part of his fight, I mean, he brings the fight to you, and hey, you do what works for you. But if he would come in not so close, come in with the shots, you know, because he leaps in and he just comes at you like recklessly. If he would come in, but, you know, get to where he can, you know, give you that angle, make you throw and catch you, and, you know, counter, you know, make the openings, and you know, set traps, you know, he doesn't do that. He just comes in and he smothers you, but he smothers his own shots, and it takes away from his own offense. That's why so much wrestling and grabbing in Sean Porter's fights, because he gets that close where the opponent can actually grab him and stop him from doing what he's trying to do. But no, there's people that said they felt that Sean Porter won. No, even Sean Porter at the end of the fight, when they gave the decision, you see what he did? He was put his thumbs up. Yeah, he knows Spence won that fight. No, it wasn't a dominating performance by Spence, but to me, it's because Spence just fought the wrong fight. Now, that leads me to saying, if and when he fights Terrence Crawford, I think Spence, with that type of grit that he has, just that relentless, I won't be denied, I'm going to walk you down, I'm going to hurt you. For that reason right there, now, I'm going with Spence in that fight. I think Spence will beat Terrence Crawford. For people that think that Terrence Crawford will win, that's fine. My reason for thinking that, if he does that, and he really goes and imposes his will in that sense. But at the same time, watching him fight, it wasn't that much. With Mikey, I don't discredit him for that. I feel like against Mikey Garcia, I feel like Spence showed, look, I can outbox this guy with no problem. And he did that. And you all said Mikey Garcia was the better fighter, right? But he got outboxed easily. I mean, so debunk that nonsense, because he got outboxed. It wasn't a thing where he went in there, he was dominating, and he just got knocked down. No, he got outboxed. So we know Spence can box. The one mystery is, will Spence employ the right strategy against Crawford? That's the one thing. I don't know. So that's why I'm saying, if Spence comes in, and like with that, you know, I think he should be more careful. Use that jab more. double, triple jabs, movement, lateral movement, you know, not giving Crawford a straight angle. Yeah, mix it up, rough him up at times, get in, get out, you know. But if you come and you just come forward, because the one thing he can't do, because Terrence Crawford is very crafty, he can't come there and just eat shots, because even if Crawford's not hurting him, it's building the points. And you don't want somebody like Crawford to get a big lead on you, because you'll be waiting for that one shot. That one shot might never happen, and you get outboxed because you're just trying so hard. And I know if he feel like he's down, he's going to try to knock Crawford out. But I think just the grit that he has, man, that dog he has in him, I think it's enough. We'll see, you know. But yeah, there's been a lot of fights. I'm pretty sure after this video, after I stop this video, something that I said didn't say will pop up. But I remember that now. But yeah, there's been fights that they called a draw, fights that they gave to one fighter that I, you know, felt like the other fighter won. But anyway, that's all I'm going to say on that video. Catch y'all on the next one.